BONK and Bouffons are now going to be fighting it out on Ascent, as both of these teams have secured their own map picks. Both of the games were incredibly close MP, and Ascent is probably not going to be any different.
No, absolutely not. I think it would be a big surprise if it's gonna be any different. I feel like Petits Bouffons, they have had decent results in Ascent. Same for BONK, and I don't see a real chance of dominance for either side. Yeah, there could be this week 1 curse where one of these teams snowball as well on attacking side, and all of a sudden it's over, it's GG. But I doubt it. I really hope that now that we are here, we're gonna go all the way. We're gonna see how these teams battle it out, and like we talked about in the pre, so this is probably gonna be the matchup that is gonna be the most even. And if this Ascent goes any close, close at all, it's gonna be the most even matchup today, and it feels even crazy to say after what we saw in the first matchup.
Absolutely, Vamonos and Apex, that was such an incredibly close one as well. So coming into this, I think we were already expecting it, simply because of the fact that, like we said, both BONK and Petits Bouffons, they have played same teams already. They have had similar results. They're both, in terms of the way that they're approaching their play styles, are very similar. They have a similar composition in terms of a mixture between a lot of experience and just very young players as well. So all in all, I think a lot of to be expected from both of these teams, and we expected it to be close, and it was so indeed. We haven't seen an overtime yet. Not sure if that's going to be the case now here on Ascent or not, but I think as well, any of these teams actually getting a lead and walking away with it is also most likely not going to be the case, because we've seen it on the first map. Petits Bouffons, they get a lead, then BONK gets a lead, then Petits Bouffons comes back, and same on the second map, same thing. You never know with these teams. Like, I feel like they are good at building that momentum, but they are also not great at shutting down the momentum of their opponent, which is something that in a game like Valorant, that is very heavily momentum based, it's something that you might want to look into a little bit more, because for BONK to get 8 rounds in a row, that is really scary.
Yeah, they popped off definitely on that defensive side, and if they can get that snowballed in Ascent, I'm not quite sure which side they start. I think Les Petits Bouffons, they are actually on the defensive side. So if BONK will be able to get like a pistol round there and the snowball up, that's exactly what we were talking about the first week curse in Ascent. Like, you snowball the attacking side straight into like 6-0 or something like that, and you have 8 rounds in the attacking side. It's quite impossible to come back from that situation. But I think that is heavily unlikely. I would love to see Laza finding more with that operator. I think Laza in the end, he was really solid in that Haven map, and I think he was solid with the operator, getting quite a lot of kills. But I would love to see him being like a menace for BONK, and for BONK's side, I would love to see Kicks perform once again. Probably one of my favorite players in terms of watching him last year, and now seeing him again on board here, like building out his agent pool as well. But now he should be going back to the KO if I'm not completely mistaken. So
I hope so.
So that is definitely a scary sight to see if you're Le Petit Bouffon or a fan of Le Petit Bouffon.
Yeah, because Kicks on that KO is not somebody you want to be messing with, especially if they do decide to couple it with a Jet. Again, we've seen him before, and we've seen how good he is at using those flashes for himself, but also for the rest of the team. So that's not something you want to be dealing with. But also when we're looking at the side of Le Petit Bouffon, like, this is Ascent. They are very comfortable on this map as well. They have played it once. Admittedly, they won it. So by the looks of it, I think, again, this is such an equal matchup, and I think, like, as we said earlier before this game, any of these games even started, these teams are so closely matched that it's so hard to make a prediction in terms of who is going to win. And actually, you know, Talent going 50-50 on predictions, you don't really see that often over here, but that's actually happened too, because we don't really know either which way this is going to sway.
Yeah, and both of these teams are like stringing along. Le Petit Bouffon being 2-1, and BONK is 1-2, and that could switch up. They could both be 2-2 after this matchup. Yeah. So they're like really close with each other, like we highlighted in terms of playstyle, maps, all of that. And this is exactly what we are gonna see. Kicks on that KO.
But so is Russ.
Yeah. I think this is going to be interesting, really interesting matchup, because both of these teams are going for this same composition. They're both going for the Killjoy. Chihuahua, I think he has previously played the Cypher in this map, so that's really odd to see, but I'm interested what he has in store with the Killjoy.
Yeah, I think we've already seen Chihuahua on the Killjoy. You're absolutely correct, especially on the Ascent. There were a lot of really good setups that we have seen from Chihuahua on the map, and it feels like he's one of those players that's just really good at, you know, sitting down, learning all the setups, getting them to execute onto game, and he changes them up. You're never gonna get the 2 exact same Chihuahua setups, whatever agent he's playing on, whether that's the Killjoy or the Cypher. So again, something that Le Petit Bouffon has to take into consideration, because yes, from our game that we've seen earlier, Vamonos up against Apex, both of these teams were really good at negating each other's utility. They were really good at just ignoring and walking past it completely. Whereas that's not really something we've seen here yet from BONK against Le Petit Bouffon.
Yeah. BONK heavily stacking onto A side. No one towards B. Le Petit Bouffon, on the other hand, they're trying to go for some kind of mid control towards from short. But that just leaves the A side completely open, and I think BONK will just walk through.
Even Cider using the Paranoia just in case, but Le Petit Bouffon are so pushed up far into tree that they haven't even given them a chance. They haven't given themselves a chance to even try and catch anyone that comes onto site. Doors closed off on them, and they now need to play a retake. I mean, you still have all 5 members, you still have all the util, whereas when you're looking at the side of BONK, they have used some of that. So admittedly Bouffons could be in the driver's seat here, but it's a matter of the execution.
Absolutely. Kicks, trying to look for some picks, and he will get one. Punished instantly. Trades going literally back and forth. 3 players left for the side of BONK, and it seems like BONK is gonna take this. Great. Solely alive, and Chihuahua. The other Killjoy is gonna punish him, and BONK will take a pistol round. And we were talking about the snowball. Okay, I don't want to jump the gun. But this is exactly what BONK would need for that snowball on the attacking side. Kicks going for a rifle, so does Cider. Yep. So interesting. I love this. I love this.
Yep. The rifle pick, admittedly, I know you love those. They're like your favorite thing in the whole wide world. Your favorite thing in the whole universe. But when we're looking at what we've just seen from Petits Bouffons, it's again that idea of, yes, we're going to retake as a 5-man, but the execute not following up potentially on how they wanted it to go. So that leaves a couple of question marks, not just in their executes, but for me, mainly their communication. And what is going on for these executes to not be the way they might have planned them out to be.
Yeah, and I think Petits Bouffons, it seemed like they were heavily like trying to on this trap, but I'm pretty sure BONK didn't even use like short control in the previous pistol that they played in a sense, so it was weird to see them just go stack 3 players there. But they were feeling confident this time around. They do not really have the weapons. Kicks going for aggression, gets punished a little bit, but not taken out quite yet.
Yeah, still has a flash available if he just decides to go and use so. 24 HPs, looking to sacrifice his own life, but instead it's Lizzo that gets taken out. A classic still in the hands of BONK, but he's not aware that 4 members, including Kicks, were up there. Link is gonna break the door, but again, how are you gonna be able to get out of that market? They're just spraying through every single smoke that you throw at them. BONK are definitely in the driver's seat on this one.
Yeah, and great. Going down this bike, not giving anything for the side of BONK. And 2-0 on the board for them. Rifles invested. They're gonna, invest some more. And Juicer is gonna be the only one with the Stinger. They could even switch up, have some kind of rifle for this Jet. But I think they're trying to just look for some close quarter fights. Jet dashing into a side. Playing around the cloudburst will allow him to utilize that Stinger as well.
Yep. And that's what we've seen a lot from Jisoo. Using that cloudburst, getting some of those close range fights, and even Lizzo has been doing that last map on Haven, but in terms of success rate, it feels like BONK, when it comes to getting these close range fights, they are more successful at it. Again, getting a little bit of pickup on that pace. Lizzo finds that first pick kicks though, and Jisoo immediately making sure that 2 of the members from the side of Petits Bouffons are taken down, adding VALORANT to that mix as well. Russ does get a pick with the fragment. Interesting way to go here for Kicks, but the numbers advantage by BONK has been secured. And they even have the post plant. BONK was not looking. Russ with the incredible flick, and that means that only Jisoo is the one left standing. And Cray wins that one out. BONK seem to be a little distracted.
No, but I think that has to fall on the other members who are alive. You have to be covering BONK because he's droning up heaven. He's getting that information. And what was the flick from Russ onto main? How does he even get Chihuahua out of there? That's insane. I was sure that Cray got the kill. But no. Russ, great retake for the side of Petits Bouffons. Catching BONK off guard. And those are the kind of mistakes that you do not want to do. You could have snowballed this game out of the hand. Sure, Petits Bouffons, they do not have the best buy. BONK still have better economy. But you cannot make those kind of mistakes in these stakes when you could probably get a decent standing in like halfway of this season, of this game.
Yep. A couple of maybe miscommunication mistakes, however you want to put it, but that did look a little concerning. But Russ still, the beautiful flick coming out Securing themselves that line. Ooh, Link is gonna be flushed out from Wine. Kicks and BONK are taking picks left and right. Like, BONK is gonna get the plant down. They even have this site under control. They have the numbers advantage. They're gonna have to play a retake from the side of Heaven. They do find one. But now it's just Cray. That means only BONK are left. Cray once again left to clutch us up. He's done it before. He's gonna tap it. Ooh, not able to react immediately as BONK. So want to close this one out. And BONK making sure that BONK stays in the lead.
Yeah, BONK are not giving any extra time there. And I think at this point, the fatigue that you were talking about already on previous map is starting to show, because you go with trades back and forth, you go for the duels, like single duels. You don't even see like consistent trading. I think swinging with like two people, you see a lot of duels taken, and I think that all comes down to the fatigue and not being able to play down with the fundamentals that well. But I think it brings great Valorant. I'm not like hating on that.
No complaints here. We have had a lot of Valorant today. I think the fact that both of these series have gone to 3 mappers, again, really highlighting how closely matched these teams are. And yes, Vamonos might not have been able to secure a point out of their matchup against Apex, but they should be very proud of themselves. And then here, looking at Bouffons up against BONK, again, such a close matchup between these two teams, both taking their own respective maps. And this decider so far, it's looking like something we've seen before. BONK gets the lead, Bouffons is gonna get a lead. I feel like, again, we can't really call whose game it's going to be just because of how close every single map has been so far.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think those small mistakes, they could even get out of hand. Those could be the ones that are gonna make the difference. A side is gonna be open up for BONK take, and there's no one to contest. Petits Bouffons pretty much saving out this round. Lasse, obviously with the Blade Storm, they're gonna try and heavily rely onto this Blade Storm, but how much are they gonna get with that?
Yeah, again, pushing out from Heaven onto side has not really had the greatest track record for Petits Bouffons. They do really seem to struggle with it. Whereas when we're looking at BONK, they would just jump 4 men out of window in Heaven. They're happy with that. They're chilling. So again, that throws a couple of questions in terms of the retake that we're going to be seeing from Petits Bouffons. They are, however, on worse weaponry, so having to play with the classic, that is not very wall bangable. They already have a heavy hit on Cray, and the time is just ticking. It looks like the players might just be looking to die to the orbit. Instead, they're dying to Cider and kicks his crosshair. BONK's in the lead again. Like they're looking good. And the thing is, with both of these teams, it was both of the maps as well, the attacking side for these teams that they struggled with the most. So for BONK to be coming into this on the attacking side and already doing well is gonna throw a couple of questions to how strong is their defensive side going to be, or is this going to be one of the maps where it's actually not, it's more of an anomaly where their attack is actually stronger than their defense? Or are they just having a good game?
Yeah, questions that
only time will tell.
Yeah, cannot quite yet answer. Petits Bouffons, good call for the timeout, Lasse. Getting that operator out is so crucial right now. Maybe being able to control the map with the operator, giving pressure onto a main, that could be a good avenue of Petits Bouffons to find some ground. But I feel like BONK is, they're so on top of their game that they will absolutely find this operator and try to deny the position or act on it if they see the operator in mid or B. I would say they're either gonna collapse onto that or just rotate onto the other side.
The operator as well, in general, having that on mid, I think, would be an interesting approach, especially because it felt like Petits Bouffons as of yet, but also BONK, they haven't really been playing a lot for that mid control, so as much as traditionally that's where we like to see it, it's usually in games which rely heavily on this mid control, which so far we are not seeing. Jisoo, and Cloudbird's gonna drop. And Cray has stayed patient long enough to be able to finally reap the rewards. But still, numbers advantage this time around is in favor of Lip2 Bouffons, but again, a retake. Something that they haven't been the strongest at recently.
Yeah, Chihuahua investing that lockdown means that BONK, they will get some time. Or, yeah, I feel like Petits Bouffons, they just have to give it out. They have to wait 2 seconds. VONK is gonna go for it. He's gonna get caught on the lockdown, but there's no player who can act on it.
No one to punish VONK for it, and Lizard with the operator immediately taken out. The one player that's left is now Chihuahua. He has so much to do. The flash! The team flash coming out from Rust gives Chihuahua the perfect opportunity to play off of it. He's looking to spam the Cloudburst, but instead Lizard is aware where they're coming from. Although they win, it is a little expensive.
It is, but it's a great win for Petits Bouffons. They just need to get these rounds down, get the confidence, and even having a lockdown coming up for the next round is going to be huge for Petits Bouffons. Laza getting a kill, actually a few kills I think right there with the operator is going to be huge. Now pushing down the short. BONK, they're falling back to safe, comfortable A site. It seems like it's going to be real fast this time around.
BONK again. A side so far has been the most successful one for them. So
Yeah.
this is leading the charge. Link is the one to be getting off the first pick. Bong with the Hunter's Fury is going to find a pick himself. Kick still one of the players not to be messing with. Gotta take this man seriously, especially when he's on this KO. And again, Lip2 Bouffons gotta go for that retake.
Oh,
Don't
Ross.
clear out kicks. Ross is gonna get taken out. So is Cray. Chihuahua on the side doing even so much more. And even though that lockdown has been put down by Cray, it's not gonna find any utilization.
That's all on kicks. Amazing performance. Just sneaking through the door while it's closing, but not acting on it instantly. Just waiting for the lockdown or someone to walk through. And so well played by this guy. Once again, you have to highlight the KO. Getting that first kill, or rather third kill, and then going for seconds with the flash, allowing him to just instantly deny the lockdown if anything would have happened in heaven. And BONK, once again, A side seems to be their home right at this moment.
Ooh. Ross a little too overzealous. That is a shorty, sir. Unfortunately, that's not going to be doing much on a long distance. And now Link left to fend for himself onto A side. He will be spotted out. And a couple of shots with the Sheriff. But BONK, again, the respect that they're giving Lip2 Bouffons here, expecting them to be pushing into them aggressively simply due to the fact that they are on that eco round. They still want to be safe. They still want to make sure that every single corner is checked.
Yeah, they don't want to face these shorties. They know that Ross already had one. Just trying to be secure. Not getting caught off guard. Almost connecting onto VONK, but not quite. 3 players for the side of Petits Bouffons. But BONK, they will have a lot of time to play with 45 seconds still on the clock.
Yeah, they're waiting out the rotations here from Lip2 Bouffons, which are coming in immediately. Jusu gets put down. VONK is doing so much work with literally nothing but a classic kicks inside her, though. They have a say in it. They're not going to make it possible, and that leaves Cray, the only man left standing, but he has a shorty. And if you want to make it work, that's going to be really hard.
Oh, Chihuahua actually...
Oh!
Wow, gets taken out. I mean, they planned really close for Cray, but that's an instant raid. It doesn't matter because only 2 bullets in shorty. You should never get away with that. 1 kill is fine. Economy is fine for the side of BONK. And I mean, there was some struggles getting into site, but just because BONK were so patient, so disciplined in A main, and waited for all of the utility and smokes, there wasn't a bigger mistake. Even though you lose 2 players, the rest of the 3 players are gonna come to the site and clean up. They're gonna take all of those kills. The classics are not gonna do enough damage. And that is just the discipline for the side of BONK. They already have 6 round on attack. A technical pause. He's gonna take maybe some momentum out of that. But BONK with 4 ultimates in the upcoming round compared to Le Petit Bouffons having only from the shadows. It's gonna be a tough round.
Tough indeed, but that is only if BONK feel the need to invest these ultimates, because so far, looking at it, even from the perspective of the wins that we're seeing coming out from BONK, they have been very, very convincing. The need for them to have used ultimates in the last few rounds was not there. So these are very great fail-safes to be relying upon if a round gets maybe a little too close for comfort.
Placing swarm grenade.
Laza just going for that mid peak. There should be a failsafe of either a smoke or a drone, and the smoke is enough to deny Laza's position. He's fast with it. He's gonna go instantly to short, but there's already 3 players past in mid.
First time as well that we're seeing a contesting for mid coming out. Hunter's Fury immediately, but it's not even needed because Just has already found his way into market. That is Cray gone. That is that anchor that Le Petit Bouffons was relying on market onto B. With that util available, completely gone. It just leaves Link by himself.
And BONK, they leave mid completely, which could be a mistake in terms of Le Petit Bouffons actually acting out and pushing short. There's no one to cover this flank, but they should still be aware. Lockdown invested, they should get this B side, but are they ready for the flank?
That is something that they're gonna have to deal with at some point. Link playing from both houses, gonna find that first pick on Jusu. He still has a couple more members to be dealing with Paranoia. It's gonna stop him dead in his tracks after. Lizzo with the operator though is not here to play. Russ taking kicks down, and that leaves Cider all by himself. He has 3 members to be dealing with, is aware of the position of one, aware of the position of the second, is gonna be able to take out the operator. 13 seconds left on the clock, gets that wall bang through. And Le Petit Bouffons, they have secured themselves a round.
That's a good push from Le Petit Bouffons. They have to make something aggressive. I think BONK, they could have very easily left 1 player in mid. It's not necessary, but how Le Petit Bouffons plays that situation, the mid flank should have been there. But I think just looking at that face value, I really like BONK just stacking 5 players in B main. It's just great play from Le Petit Bouffons, and they finally get a round on board. But there's definitely a pattern of BONK getting 2 rounds and Le Petit Bouffons only 1. Then BONK once again getting 2 rounds, and that's a scary pattern when he's trying to win a map.
Exactly. It feels like history from first map and second are repeating itself. Cray initially thinking he has the upper hand, but not when Jis is in the question. Vong though is making sure that that's all they get. Russ heading to it. Bunkar is on the complete opposite side of the map, unaccounted for, but by the looks of it, he has a lot to do. He doesn't have a spike, and it seems like Lizzo is expecting it.
Yeah, it seems like BONK, they were trying to do some kind of default rather than execute. It just falls apart. Every player is lost. Really aggressive on the side of B, pushing in. That could have been a plan with like splitting from mid. I don't know. That was weird. That was maybe a plan of doing a default to a fake on B to rotating onto A, but it didn't quite plan out or pan out the way they planned it out. And BONK going for a timeout, which is a great call. I'm always an advocate for the timeouts, especially when you're facing a hard time in terms of economy right here. Thinking what do you want to buy? Do you want to go for the operator for last round, or do you want to get something more down for Yuso? What do you want to do in this eco round? Don't really want to default or do something slow, I would say. So it's definitely a good time to take this timeout and just think what is going to happen the next round, but especially on round 12.
Yeah, especially also looking at the ult economy for the two Bouffons, something that BONK is going to be a little scared of. They are 1 away from null command, 1 away from lockdown, 2 away from Hunter's Fury. Lizzo already has that Bladestorm online, so all in all, it is very scary to be in BONK's position, but at the same time, they have managed to get themselves a couple of rounds, but we've seen how these leads from both of these teams can grow and snowball and just get completely out of control. So getting that timeout, trying to stop something before it happens, before you're on the complete back foot. Beautiful. But that was also pretty beautiful from the Bouffons. There's so much util just immediately shutting down Jisoo on site.
Yeah, Bonker, he slips away. But look at Cider, he's all the way to the other side of the map. I think he had from the shadows, yeah. Just trying to commit into A side, finding some kind of space. Not quite sure about the play. Sure, it's only half by great flash coming in from kicks. Bonker, just only minimal damage on the Russ. And this should be the round for Le Petit Bouffons. Kicks doesn't even quite get Grey. And round 12 is gonna be the round where BONK really focuses up onto having that lead when they go to the second half and on defending side. But 6 rounds on attack already on Ascent is great. It's amazing.
Yeah, they have secured themselves. I mean, this is a half that cannot go bad for them, so they already have 6 rounds and a half, which is completely fine. Again, we said that both of these teams on the defense, they are stronger than they are historically on the attack, so
Placing swarm grenade.
on that side, the fact that Petits Bouffons have struggled a little bit and have given up as many rounds is, again, gonna be a little worrying as they're gonna be heading into the attacking side of things, but it could just be that this is the map where both of the teams are more comfortable in attack. We'll never know until we're there.
Oh, great Hunter's Fury. Only attacks Bonker, actually. It seemed like it's gonna attack all 3 of those players just proactively using that Hunter's Fury without any information. Lazar's position is gonna be denied, but that's the drone out of the round for BONK. They should know that the operator is still on B side, and that's why they going towards A. But I love how good Laza is with these situations. He's just pushing in.
Oh! Jisoo does not care about the fact that BONK had his drone out. He's immediately pushing right into it. He is sick and tired of it. He wants to move on, but so does Link, because this man has a 4KO by himself. Spiked down in his lap.
What? Like...
And now it's just Cider.
I mean, Link just popping off. It seems like he's not stopping. Because that would be Link in park.
Can we delete the last 10 seconds from my memory, please?
It's the first half done. Equalizing the odds 6-6. And what a round from Link. What a round.
I mean, beautiful. Lining up one by one. Right into that crosshair. Just the way that that was executed. Like, yes, Cray falls victim. And he's gonna have to, like, give up his life. But it's for the greater good, okay?
Yeah.
And the greater
absolutely.
good is Link's kitty.
And Le Petit Bouffons actually looking really decent. Getting 4 rounds in a row is good. It might not be enough for Ascent. You probably have to take this pistol on attacking side. Let's see how they tackle this. 5 players on A main. It seems like they have taken a page out of BONK's book.
Yeah, run it down. Run it down, click heads. Jisoo. Down, Lizard trading. As kicks get that one pick, but Link... Ooh, are they gonna clear out BONK? Yes, they are. Link is absolutely done with this. Another 3k. Chihuahua, the only one left.
I mean, pop off. Sure. What happened? Chihuahua? It's not gonna be easiest situation. If you would know the HPs of these players, you would take that share.
Oh.
Oh, so close. But doesn't quite connect. And Russ is fast. Le Petit Bouffons, they get exactly what they need. That was a great, just basic rush onto A side, and it works like it should work. Link popping off, getting amazing momentum down for Le Petit Bouffons.
Yeah, and this is the momentum that we've seen them as well in the last few rounds on Haven, where they just W key pressing, running onto site, clicking everybody's head, changing up the pace completely, catching BONK off guard. That's what worked for them last time. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to push it into overtime. But now, you're not that far behind. You don't... I mean, you're absolutely dead equal. You're ahead now, this time around. Ooh. A little bit of aggressive push coming up from Jesus. Not gonna work out as expected. Instead, it's Rust with the Vandal that gets 2. Still has one more player. Is gonna be able to hear those footsteps, though. He is aware. There's one more. Chihuahua not aware there's another player, but Kicks, he's the only one left in mid. He's gonna miss a couple of these sheriff shots. 14 HP left, going for that reload. Looking to do something, but it's not gonna be able to do anything at all. That's a quick run from Petits Bouffons.
Yep, saving out all 3 of the rifles means that they can definitely buy into this round and, I mean, face Bonkers Odin.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest sight to see in terms of you don't want to take or be rather in the receiving end of that. Never. And I think Bonker having 510 stats right now, if he can keep that Odin around for a couple rounds, he's probably going to double those stats. Probably going to be at 10 kills.
Yeah, we've seen that on Enzo. He's done a lot on Ascent with the Odin. It was such a difficult one to deal with for side of Vamonos, so maybe, you know, maybe BONK are taking a page out of Apex's book.
Could be. Well, yeah, I mean the Odin coming through with for the Sova is really cemented on to Ascent. Fong didn't quite want to go for that, but it's always annoying facing that Odin. You know that could even be mentally something that Petits Bouffons is gonna be like, oh, once again it's the Odin here. How are we gonna commit onto B side? Jose is gonna be on the receiving and on this A side, but it's actually Laza and Kicks who are doing the trading, and Kicks is doing it so well, but not quite enough to keep the lead. 2 versus 3, and it's Bonker.
It is, and it's the Odin as well. It's come to play, but they're spotting him out. He's not as sneaky as he thought he would be. Link has just come absolutely online. His last few rounds from this man are incredible, to say the least. The gunplay is on a different level. The awareness is just something else. Leading a team to victory all by himself at this point, because this round in the bag, you're 1 off of double digits.
Yeah. And Link once again getting 4K.
Yeah. Just leave it up to Link, man. You got it. Don't worry about it.
I guess so.
Yes. After that performance?
I mean, he's been amazing in the past 4 rounds. It's popping off, single-handedly carrying this team pretty much. I mean, obviously you have amazing teammates, but Link, I think he had 8 kills last half, last round, and now 18. We're just 3 rounds into the second half. And BONK, they're gonna take the second timeout because they don't have any money, no economy, and Petits Bouffons, they're looking really strong for that double digits.
Yep, double digits is again scary territory. I want to call it scary territory because usually that's when a team, like, they're sitting comfortably, they have the lead, they're ready to go forward. But so far, like, double digits has been scary territory, but for the team who actually gets double digits, because for some reason seeing those 2 numbers on your screen is like all the motivation the opposing team needs to try and get 8 rounds in a row. So anything can happen. Yeah. I'm gonna say that again. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, the 2 Bouffons got this, because I don't know what's gonna be next. Okay, I wish I did. I know, but unfortunately, everybody, we cannot predict the future. Believe it or not.
No, sometimes you can jinx it. But
I don't believe in
we
that.
don't want to do that. Oh, I do. But yeah, let's not do that. Okay.
Okay, I think
9-6. I think this is a comfortable score. We're gonna see OT. Okay. Yeah, I think that could definitely be a thing, because BONK, they're still on the defending side. They should be able to get some kind of momentum down. They should be able to maybe get a round when we go to round 17. It's gonna be a rough one because they don't have the guns to face against Petits Bouffons. Yeah, the side is just gone. They have to go for a 5 vs 5 retake.
There's super fast executes coming up from the Petits Bouffons. They're not really stopping too much to think about what's going on. It's more of a matter of, okay, let's clear these individuals one by one by one by one, which is super easy. When they start dropping out of heaven like flies, it's like, Here you go, guys. Present, wrapped up, all ready to go. Cider again, also gonna be pushing out of heaven. This is the same exact position where every single member tried to play this retake from. You're now on 26 HP. You want to turn around and try and get a pick, but is that realistically going to happen? Absolutely not. And Petits Bouffons, by losing Russ only, they're already sitting on double digits.
Yeah, and comfortable with that bank as well. They can fairly easily just keep grinding and keep that bank down. Also, ultimates coming up for both of these teams. I think the economy right now is looking pretty solid. But BONK, they pretty much have to take a win here. The economy, just economy is not looking great if they lose here. Obviously, Odin, Operator invested. Heavy investment for the side of BONK.
It's now or never. This is where they need to shine. This is where we're expecting them to at least get a round or two on the board. I think not just for their economy in terms of getting around MP, I think it's also important for that momentum, for that mental, knowing that you can do it. You're not just stuck between letting Petits Bouffons dictate the pace of the game, which we've seen a couple of times, especially on the end. On Haven, BONK really struggled with the pace that we're seeing, and we're seeing it exactly again from Luzu pushing all the way up into CT. But as they're going to drop onto side, Chihuahua is the one that they need to deal with. He's going to find one pick. That's about it, but they're already onto side. And they have equal numbers for both of these teams, and the spike this time around is going to be able to go down.
Yeah, good information out of two players for the side of Petits Bouffons. They have the site. But what can they do with it? Vong will be the first one to find a pick. Kicks going for those flashes. He's known to do a lot of things with this, but it's not quite enough. Cider, one kill, but Link will be there to trade. OMEN on the side of Link will be stronger this time around. And it feels like it has been so strong in the second half. 21 kills all of a sudden. Like a phoenix, Link has risen from the ashes.
Wow, that's very poetic.
I mean, I guess it's kind of ironic that it's the OMEN for the side of Petits Bouffons when Cider was the one who played for Fun Plus Phoenix. So,
Okay.
Link,
I see what you're doing.
great performance.
Make it stop, guys. Oh, that's the Odin. Sometimes, you know, you gotta get a reminder that Ascent is indeed made out of cardboard.
Yeah, and Yuzu,
Ooh.
way too many players for him to select the target there. Even
fact,
with the Blade Storm, it's so hard.
The fact he got out of that alive. What? How? Oh, kicks. Unfortunate positioning. You could see his kneecaps, but the fact that Jusu got out of that alive, I am absolutely mind blown.
I mean, getting that dash and surviving without a scratch even.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's kicks instead, unfortunately. Who is going to be the one to go down? That's the flash is gone. From the side of BONK, they have the paranoia if they decide to use it. They have the lockdown, the blade storm from the shadows. But again, realistically, no commands the one to be coming through. Ooh. Bunker is going to look to get a take. No one's going to be checking out Chihuahua. He's tucked away in wine. He does find Russ, gets the spike down, but VONK shuts him down eventually. BONK are still on site though. They're going to have to be dealing with this. But Craig gets rest. He's making
Every one
sure
of them
that Russ
is inside.
You have to deal with 3 players on site. Make that 2. Jusu though. The equalizing playing fates 1-on-1. He's not aware they're in the smoke. Sada creating these close battles.
No way Jusu actually find 2 players with the classic. He had the Blade Storm online and went with the classic. Great TP coming for the side of Cider, having that from the shadows and being able to back up your team as a 3rd player in the site was just enough to win out that round. And yeah, it's classic.
This is the round where I would expect Prey to use that lockdown simply because Bonkar is 2 orbs away from that ult. For him to be able to destroy it is not going to be a possibility, but that Hunter's Fury can be online into the next round. So if you use it now, you're eliminating the possibility of it being destroyed by the Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, but it's kind of tough. 2 players have
Yeah.
already died. Yeah, you get the site, but the retake coming through, Chihuahua having lockdown as well, you have to find some kind of pick, and that is exactly what you need. Maybe even more.
Yep.
Russ?
This is looking to push up in market, but this is already an angle that they're expecting him to be pushing. He's going to be the one to come out with the flash. He's going to find Chihuahua. Still one more operator to deal with. Adding Justin to the tally as well. Make it a 4th. This man is on a rampage. He's single-handedly taking out 4 players from BONK. He's gonna make sure to be taking out the entirety of the team.
Surely not.
And ace is what they needed. That lockdown.
What?
Giving them the space. And Rusty's giving them the round for free.
I guess it doesn't matter if 2 of your players is gonna die because you have Russ on board, just dominating. And the way he played the flash in market, not going for left click, actually going for right click and peeking instantly when the flash goes, allows him to have that isolation onto Chihuahua and Yuseo falling back because he knows that the flash is gonna pop. He doesn't want to get flashed. And then just dominating after that. Le Petit Bouffons, they get the 12. They secure the OT at least.
Absolutely.
We were highlighting Kicks. Amazing KO player, and he has been amazing. But Ross is the one who is gonna be the one, maybe securing this for Le Petit Bouffons.
Cider is gonna push out aggressively, but again, they're on a less than optimal buy here. Russ taking out Kicks. That null command is online immediately. 26 HP left on Jisu. Chihuahua and BONK are yet to come through with those rotations. Lizzo's already pushed up quite aggressively. He wants to catch up any of these players that are pushing through heaven. If anything is giving Link that position to teleport onto it, they're going to be able to catch out BONK, leaving only Chihuahua and Jisu. Make that 1 player to be going down as well from the side of Le Petit Bouffons. And just like that, Lizzo closing it out. What an incredible performance from Le Petit Bouffons. They've lived to fight another day. We go all the way to that final map, but it's Le Petit Bouffons that come out on top.
Yeah,
They've done it.
Even up until the end, they played really well. How they went for the Killjoy lockdown there, went for the heaven control. Amazing performance by Le Petit Bouffons, and when we were looking from the few previous maps, I think we were kind of relying on the side of BONK. Absolutely getting those 6 rounds on attacking side. They got only 1 on defending.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Coming into this, we said that historically, this map, both of these teams have been better at the defense than they have been at the offense. So on the attacking side, when you secure 6 rounds, you're expecting, okay, we're gonna go to the defense, we're gonna be able to replicate what we've done many times before in the past. But no, Le Petit Bouffons have completely switched up the pace once they got onto the attack, and this is the pace that we saw in the last 4 rounds, I would say, from Haven, where instead of being very complacent and waiting for BONK to make the first move, Le Petit Bouffons were so happy to just run it onto site and clear their corners on the way. They know that a lot of the times these gunfights can just be won by sheer gun power. And Le Petit Bouffons learned from their mistakes on Haven and applied that immediately onto their attacking side. On Ascent, they didn't give BONK an opportunity to react.
Yeah, and I feel like the tempo, especially when Le Petit Bouffons entered the attacking side, it was always in their hands. They were always ready to make those plays, go fast on executes, even slow down the pace. I don't think BONK ever really had like a round that was really heavily controlled by them in terms of the tempo, them setting the pace, getting an operator in place where Le Petit Bouffons had to struggle with that or something like that. And that's just amazing from Le Petit Bouffons, especially in this last map, able to show that and just dominate BONK after 2 really intense even maps.
Yep. Intense maps indeed. Link coming out on top as the MVP. I don't think this is something that is shocking any of us, simply because of how much this person, this man, this OMEN switched on those last few maps, especially on the attacking side. It was incredible to see really push through for the rest of the team, and I think that momentum as well, just giving Luzu and Russ as well as Gray and Vong some of the confidence they needed to close this out as quickly as they could.
Yeah, and I mean, you highlighted Link. I think that's exactly where it started. Link getting that, was it 3K or 4K on the last round of the first half, getting that momentum for himself, being able to get a 3K onto pistol, 4K for the round 3 on second half, and it's a snowball out of that. And then Ross coming through, getting that ace, and all of those individual performances as well, put in together with the team performance that they had, was just a sight to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like towards the end of that ascent, especially on the attacking side, they have worked on just coming together more as a team rather than seeing the individual pushes onto side. I think one thing though for the Bouffons going forward is still some of the retakes. I think those are things that I have questions about, especially when they are retaking from a heaven position, both on haven and on ascent. It did not work out the way that they most likely wanted it to work out, so something to work on going forward, I think. But from BONK, again, they put on a formidable performance. It's not something to take lightly. But before we continue to talk about this, we have Matty for the interview. Second time here today, actually. So welcome back. How are you feeling after the performance of the team?
Yeah, I'm just really proud of the guys. Yeah, this was a nail biter. It was looking really rough at one point on ascent. I'm just really happy that the guys, like the calling of Russ was just perfect in this game. And yeah, I'm just really proud of their performance.
I mean, I think you guys take really great timeouts. What goes through in a timeout? Why do you take those timeouts? Because I think compared to teams that we have seen previously, I think you take them quite often, and I'm so happy to see that.
Well, it kind of depends. I feel like in this game on the ascent, it's a bit easier for me to remember. Like this one, we kind of just took it in the beginning just to kind of like, it was the first round that we have Lusser on the operator, and just kind of to just stop the momentum a little bit and just calm down the nerves a little bit. And sometimes that's all it takes. But sometimes it's more like for me to call out some of the things that they're doing, some of the utility usage and stuff that the guys don't really focus on when they're playing the game. So it kind of depends.
Yeah. Could you already kick your feet up to the table when Link was popping off, getting those individual rounds, and Russ got that 5K? Where you're like, okay, we got this on the board, or were you just biting your nails at that point still?
I'm definitely never. I didn't feel like in a position to kick up my feet at any point in this game. They're just a really hard team to play against, and even though they go A B, like it felt like that on Ascent, right? Like it was so hard to hold the sides down. Like they have some really good side takes, and I was super pumped when I saw Russ ace, and I knew at that point I was like, okay, we're gonna win this game. Like
Yeah, that was definitely a turning point. But as you said it yourself, BONK is one of those teams that was very difficult to play against. So if anything, you have a lot of material available in terms of what to improve on, what went well, what maybe didn't go so well. Is there anything specifically that's already standing out to you in terms of moving forward that you think is a focus point?
I would say it's small things, but I think we already talked about many other things. Like sometimes I guess our retakes is a bit rough, but it's something I think we easily can fix. And the guys on this team is just really easy to be coaching because they have so much experience. So I feel like we're gonna solve that really quick. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the time, for having the interview. Congratulations once again on the win. Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Yeah, so wholesome. First is like good luck with the cast, and I was like, you too. See, that's a very nice way to end the interview, but also a nice way for Petits Bouffons to end their day here because, we said it, they are sitting second in this leaderboard. They're now 3-1. Like, yes, of course, Apex are 4-0. They have yet to lose a series, but they did lose a map today, so it shows that again a lot of tight competition. A lot of these teams are very closely knit together. It's pretty impressive because with that win the standings have been impacted, and I know I just did some mental maths and tried to add the points together, but just to confirm that I'm actually right and I did not do an oopsie, there we go, they are 3-1, second space.
That looks good for Le Petit Bouffons. I think BONK being 1 and 3 doesn't really picture that team really well. I think they were really strong today. They have been a really strong team, but they have gotten under unfortunate situations time and time again. And Le Petit Bouffons, I mean, they were better today. They were obviously better today in that last match, especially, and they deserve to get that third win. But if that went the other way, this could have been even more board all around. It's gonna be still more games this week, so I think the standings are gonna be affected. But this looks pretty good for me.
Yeah, I also think Vamonos 1 and 3, it breaks my heart for them because of how well they performed against Apex. I think it's such a unfortunate situation for them to be in. But again, they have played Focus, they have played Apex. These are the teams that are really difficult to deal with. So for them moving forward, keeping their head down, staying focused, it can genuinely push them up to those top fours because they do have what it takes. And by the looks of it, some of the talent also has what it takes when it comes to actually predicting the games correctly. Now, I know this is going to be a little bit of a brag, but it was really hard to predict, okay? Like, it was 50-50 split equally on talent because everybody was like, ooh, this is going to be a rough one. But Pavlos and Retro are sitting at the top with 9 points. Some of that insider information did work out correctly. MP, you got 8 points. You're doing okay. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I was actually kind of mad because I saw that it wasn't even Pavlos or Retro who picked BONK, and they were on the same train with us, with Le Petit Bouffons. I mean, it's a great train to be with, so why not? But I'm gonna catch up to that lead, right? Okay. You too.
I mean, I got it last year, so I'm happy. I'm tapped out. Okay, I don't give up. We'll see. But again, like, literally anything can happen with these games. Like, we've seen it today. I would not have been surprised if Vamonos were the ones to take the series against Apex, and that says a lot. And again, here, BONK up against Le Petit Bouffons, it was so incredibly close. And because it's so incredibly close, there's a lot of good content that comes out from these games. And if you want to stay up to date, make sure to drop a follow to the socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They're right here, and MP can confirm there are some pretty good clips on there, especially on Twitter.
Absolutely, you should check out all of the clips today, and I think it's always amazing to see some good content, some 5-head content, I would say.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah,
who did that?
You should definitely go check that one out.
Some great content coming through, but that is it from us for today. We're gonna be back tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow it's gonna be a very special person on the cast, so make sure they feel welcome. It's gonna be their debut. Maybe a little bit of a leak here, but anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're gonna be signing off for tonight. Have a great evening, and then we'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.